Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, thanks for joining us. Tonight my friend Kris and I are heading out on an exciting astro adventure to the stunning Foggingtor Quarry on Dartmoor. With the northern lights already glowing faintly in the sky, the stats looked incredibly promising, but the ever-changing Dartmoor weather had us keeping an eye on the clouds. Despite the cloud risk, we couldn't resist the call of a night like this. This was the first image of the night, shot at ISO 6400 f2.8 with a 5-second exposure and a focal length of 24mm. I thought the scene looked absolutely awesome under the faint northern light glow. It felt great to bag the first image of the night before heading deeper into the venture at Foggingtor Quarry. From there we ventured along the top of the quarry, searching for a northerly elevated viewpoint overlooking the water. It didn't take long before we were rewarded with 20 minutes of absolutely incredible northern light activity. The northern lights were so vivid, eye-viewable pillars and stunning colours stretching from east to west and even overhead at times. We just stood there in complete awe, soaking in the experience. Moments like these remind you of why chasing the night sky is so worth it. This image was taken from the same viewpoint and features my friend Kris, who kindly stood in frame to add a sense of scale to the scene. The northern lights at this point were so high in the sky that even at 14mm it wasn't possible to capture the top of them. This shot was taken at ISO 6400 f2.8 with a 10-second exposure, and for me it perfectly captured a great moment from the night, showcasing the sheer scale and magnificence of the display. It was really tough to leave the spot with the northern light display so strong, but we felt we had made the most of this incredible viewpoint, so we decided to head down to the water's edge in the quarry to capture the scene from a new perspective. At the water's edge, we found this interesting composition looking towards the quarry entrance. By this time, the northern lights had shifted dramatically, evolving into a glowing band to the north, with striking patches of red structure further overhead. It was amazing to see how dynamic the display could be as the night progressed. Here's my image from this viewpoint, where the sky was alive with reds and greens. The shot was captured at 24mm with a 10-second exposure, with an ISO of 6400 and an aperture of f2.8. It perfectly showcased just how vibrant and dynamic the Aurora was at this point in the night. So after all the excitement, it was time for a much needed coffee break to recharge. With the warmth of a good brew, we were ready to get back to it, searching for a fresh foreground to frame the next image. My next image features this intriguing grassy foreground, perfectly complemented by the calm waters of the quarry. The northern lights added a beautiful structure to the sky, bringing a spark of magic to the scene and making this composition interesting in my opinion. I then explored a little further and discovered this composition featuring a more rugged rocky foreground. Captured with the same settings as my previous images, this shot stands out as my favourite from the quarry's water edge, perfectly capturing the mood of the night. With the time nearing 4 AM on a work night, I knew it was time to start heading back. On the way, I decided to stop by the ruins one last time for a final composition. The northern lights had changed once again, now featuring pillars of green lower on the northern horizon. It created a stunning final backdrop to these atmospheric ruins, a perfect way to end the night. This is the resulting image. A perfect conclusion to a wonderful night chasing the Northern Lights. Just a few hours later, I'd be back at work, tired, but knowing every moment was completely worthwhile. Here's hoping it won't be too long until the next display and clear skies. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you again soon.